Hello, friends. We're heading into the end of the month here. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is an awesome day, and Greg is here to share some really fun news for us on tech. I'm here to keep you on top of all things business, finance, and you, my friend, you are here with us, and we are so grateful to have you here. I want to say a big hello to Carlos, and wow, so many of you joining us today. It is such a treat to have you here, and of course, you're here to share positivity and engage with us, and we appreciate you being here. A big welcome to In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. I'm Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, Forbes contributor, and a host of a few other things. But welcome, happy Wednesday to you. And of course, Greg, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good. You know what? I didn't even think about it that it was the end of the month until you just said that right now. This is, wow, that is weird. But otherwise, I am doing great, and it's so good to be here. And hello, everyone who's joining us. Thank you so much. I'm Greg Nibbler, longtime tech reporter, podcaster, bunch of things, but we're here to have fun today. And I want to, again, just say thanks to everybody who's joining us. So we've got some fun things to talk about in tech coming up, maybe a different way of thinking about how you get your phones. That's one thing that's on the docket. We've also got some pretty futuristic things that I think are going to be interesting to discuss. I don't know if it's something you'll want, but you'll want to know about it. So we'll talk about that coming up too. But we all start off here, with Winnie filling us in on what's going on in the markets and the financial side of things to keep us educated on that, which is great. And I see the comments coming in. Hi to Vicky. Hi, everybody who's joining us. Appreciate that. But Winnie, what should we know here today to start it off?
Well, Greg, I am so excited to hear what you have to say about that phone, because that's definitely on my list of things to learn from you. And yes, absolutely. Let's say hello to Vicky. We haven't seen Vicky in a bit. It is so great to welcome her back. And we are grateful, Vicky, for you for making the time and always just being so supportive of us. So, Greg, you're absolutely right. Let's talk about the market. It's kind of bumped today, unfortunately. Kind of some down news today. The Dow closed down 83 points. NASDAQ down 177 points, and the S&P down 29 as well. In fact, it's sort of like the last hour of the trading day today. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like the market was gaining any speed and some steam too, because the last few days have actually been relatively positive. And you might be wondering what happened today. Like it was some news came out. Did some companies report worse earnings? The economic concerns. Well, I'll tell you, this is what I think. Some of the main reasons why today's market didn't perform as well was actually because of what's happening in Ukraine. As many of you have been following, yesterday there was a meeting that took place in the country of Turkey, where Ukraine officials and Russia officials met to try and ideally get to a place where they were talking about ceasefires, they're talking about having communication and finding a way to get past all the bloodshed and war. Unfortunately, as President Biden had mentioned and other officials on social media, when we've been talking about that too, is they're saying, well, it's a wait and see. Let's see what happens. So Russia had promised that, in fact, they were going to they're going to pull things back a little bit. They're going to take some of their troops away from certain cities and areas of Ukraine. But unfortunately, it seemed like that was short-lived. That actually was just a conversation from yesterday. But today, we saw and we heard news that unfortunately many more Russian attacks on Ukraine. So I think though investors are listening to this and getting more worried, thinking that maybe things were going to get a little bit better. That's when we saw the market react positively in the last couple of days. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. And so because of that, we also saw crude oil prices increase, soaring to topping $107 per barrel today. That's climbing more than 3%. And also Germany, you've heard me talk about Germany before. They're also warning there's a potential that they might have to ration natural gas. And so remember, we were already concerned that Germany actually might fall into recessionary times. So not good. But here's one thing I do want to talk about. And I thought, Greg, when I read this article, I really thought of you, and I thought, I'm really interested because I think Greg and I are going to be on the same page here. This was an article that was shared in The Guardian, and they're talking about that if the U.S. here, if we transition to electric vehicles by 2050, that just the process of if we just actually move more people driving gas vehicles to electric vehicles by 2050, we could save over 100,000 lives.
Wow.
And this was huge because I know it's kind of a detour than what we were talking about earlier, but I thought this was sort of that time where maybe we should consider this now that, crude oil is getting more expensive, gas is getting more expensive. If you're looking to transition to that next vehicle or maybe get rid of an old car, going electric may not only be good for your wallet and how much you spend on gas, but also could be good for health, right? For not just yourself, but your neighbors as well. And so they're saying that if we swap gas for zero emission vehicles, that this could lead to 2.8 million fewer people suffering few, or I should say 2.8 million fewer asthma attacks. And this would actually enable us to avoid over 13 million sick days too. So this was some analysis that came out of the American Lung Association highlighting the public health damage that is caused by, unfortunately, us being dependent on things like fossil fuels and things like that. A little bit greener, better for your health. I don't know, Greg. What did it? I feel like this number really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it that I've never seen before, as far as what sick hours are and all of that. But yeah, I mean, certainly that transition is going to be big. And actually, I think it was just today that was announced. I was just trying to double check that, but I believe it's Canada is going to ban the sale of combustion engine vehicles by 2035. I think that's the target date that they're setting. Combustion engine passenger cars by 2035. So Canada's starting this. You've got a lot of European countries as well. They have even more aggressive dates to stop the sale and transition to electric vehicles, or at least some kind of alternative energy. So I think it's on the horizon, but I think looking at it from that way would really help, give people a different perspective on what it is and what you're really getting out of that. I mean, 100,000 lives saved, that statistic alone. But yeah, it's just kind of fascinating looking at it from those different angles.
Yeah, great. I agree with you. It's interesting. We talk about the benefits of going electric. Be really interesting to also find the flip side. What's the negative going electric as well? I'd be interested to hear that. But certainly, yeah, I think it kind of opens the eyes of, like the potential of health benefits. I think that's huge. One thing that we've been reading in the financial news was last week too is, and I thought this was interesting to share with all of you, is you talked about Canada, Greg. And, it's interesting because a lot of things that Russia exports, right? To the European nations and whatnot. A lot of countries are now going to Canada because, interesting enough, Canada actually produces a lot of things such as crude oil and wheat and a lot of these other other commodities that typically countries would go to Russia for. So that's actually shifting as well. And they're saying there's a lot of these deals happening right now. So Canada could benefit. So I think that's great that they're sort of taking the lead on really reducing combustion, right? So that's a good thing too. Now, one other thing, Greg, I want to talk to you about too, because you just mentioned can't believe we're heading into the end of the month. That just shows, Greg, how busy you are. And I know you're busy because we talk offline as well. You are one really busy guy. But one thing that I want to make sure that's on everybody's radar is that we're literally just a few weeks away from the tax filing deadline. So if this hasn't been on your radar, make sure it's on your radar. I also want to talk to you about the things that you should do before you file your taxes, because recently I had a reporter ask me, what are some things that you think most of your clients forget to do for tax season? So I thought I would share this with you, and I think it's really important. So when it comes to tax season, don't forget that if you've done your, retirement plan, like maybe you've done your 401k at work, or maybe you're self-employed, you do know that you can also still contribute to a SEP IRA, which is similar to a 401k for a self-employed individual. You can actually still contribute to that for 2021. And if you've done both those things, or maybe you don't want to do either of those things, but you still want to save some money towards your retirement, don't forget you can still contribute to your 2021 IRA or Roth IRA as well. And if you're not sure which one you qualify for, then, super easy. You can actually Google Winnie Sun Forbes IRA, and there's an article in it. I go through in a lot of detail which way to do it. Or worst case, reach out to me and we can have that discussion. But that's what you want to do, is pay attention to that. The next thing you want to do is share with you that, believe it or not, You don't have to pay to get your taxes done. I think this is sort of a common misconception. A lot of people think, oh my goodness, it's so overwhelming. And, I have to go and fill out this tax form. Believe it or not, there's actually some really convenient ways to do it that are pretty painless. So I want to talk about this. So the IRS has partnered with several companies and agencies to offer free federal filing. Now, if you have to meet certain requirements, obviously you can't have too complicated taxes. You can't make gajillion dollars. But if you have a relatively simple filing, you actually can, and there's some great resources on the IRS website where you can go and find companies that will allow you to file for free. Now, you can go online and you can do it all yourself and answer some questions, and you can file with the IRS. But there's also programs where they offer in-person drop-off or even virtual meetings for tax preparation. So if you're one of these people, maybe you're new to filing your taxes, or you finally, made some changes, or maybe something happened in your life and you have different income or whatnot, and you're just like, I don't know where to start. I definitely wanted to bring that up. Go to the IRS website. It's currently up and it's available. And so there's a lot of companies out there that are available to help you. And there's other companies that are offering pretty discounted or free filing online filing systems as well. So take a look at that, and do know that's available. But the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, which is VITA, which is VITA, is managed by the IRS and is operated by IRS partners, so it's staffed by volunteers. So they offer, free tax preparation for low to moderate income people who make less than 58,000. So take a look at that, okay, if you're in that category. And Greg, that's what I've got this week. I feel like those are things I just want to make sure everyone's paying attention, because I think the next 2 or 3 weeks is going to go relatively quickly, and we just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, that's great advice, actually. I mean, filing taxes is overwhelming no matter what, at least for me. I have an accountant for mine, but yeah, that's great that there's some free help out there that people can get. So awesome advice. All right. Well, I've got a couple of things here for this week for tech. One of them, well, we're going to start off with here. Now, this is just a rumor, but it's a pretty substantiated rumor. So this comes from a report from Bloomberg, from some people in Apple who have released this information, not officially, but it's looking at how you may change up how you purchase your iPhone, meaning you might not be buying it soon. You might be renting it or subscribing to it. So this is the idea of iPhones becoming a subscription service. Now, we know that Apple's been pushing towards all kinds of subscription services for a while now. You've got Apple TV Plus, Apple Fitness, Apple Music, Apple News, all those different ones that you can get, and then you can bundle them in different packages. So this would be adding hardware on top of that to where you would be subscribing to an iPhone. So you don't actually own it. And there's a couple of things that could be a good benefit for that, for somebody who is an iPhone user who wants an iPhone. One, you wouldn't have to either pay that big cost up front. iPhones, as we all know, just like every other phone, the high-end ones, they're not cheap. It's usually $1,000 right out of the gate, or you have to pay it spread out over different monthly plans through your service provider or even through Apple, but eventually you pay for that phone. So this, you wouldn't have to do that. So they might be able to reduce the cost a little bit because Apple isn't actually, like, they still own the phone. So even when you turn it back in, they can either recycle different parts of it right back into other phones. They can rent it right back out to somebody else. So they can kind of keep control of that. And the idea would be maybe they could drop the price down on what that normal cost would be for an iPhone. And then each year you could just trade it in for the brand new version. So that's kind of what this concept is of that for the hardware. There's a few other things along with it too. But Winnie, what do you think about that? About like renting it and not actually owning your iPhone?
Well, Greg, I think it's a really smart business decision on the side of Apple. I think every company, there's two ways of, I think especially in this day and age where it's highly competitive in the cell phone space, right? You're looking for that consistent residual recurring income. And so if you can get a subscriber on with you and you charge them a nominal fee, it's certainly a lot easier to stomach $50 a month versus, coming up with $2,000, where a lot of people are struggling to even keep up with their normal bills. So I think it kind of helps you bridge that. The other thing I like about this concept is what we were talking about just earlier, Greg, about being more green. If we have a phone we've paid off, I don't know about you. Well, actually, I do know about you, Greg. I know you're like me in that you have a lot of old phones at home, and I have some old phones at home. I have some old iPads at home, and let's be honest, it's not the easiest thing to recycle e-waste. It's out of your normal schedule. You gotta find a place, and you gotta go. It's just kind of a hassle. But if you streamline that process and you just have me basically send that phone, you send me a new one, you recycle it so I know it's getting done right, and they know for certain how many parts they're getting back, then they can really keep costs down because they don't have to replace those parts. And I think this is all coming from obviously supply chain issues, right? Supply chain experiences here on what we can do. And yes, I think this will lead the way. I think Apple is going in the right direction here. I'm hoping to see this in more industries and more things. I'll give you an example, Greg. My dishwasher at home just stopped working. Like it just stopped finishing a cycle. So we had to replace it. Very expensive. I literally replaced it with the same newer model of the same dishwasher. But I was looking at the dishwasher that no longer works. The door still looks brand new. The handle looks brand new. Everything about it still looks brand new. It just can't finish the cycle. We've had it for a long time now, but it's still in every respect, still there's so many reusable parts. And I felt like it was like kind of a shame to send it to the dump to be disposed of. I wish there was a recycling center that would take it right back to Bosch and have them do the same thing. So Greg, I'm loving this concept.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many points that you just made right there. Yeah, that just to be able to recycle a lot of that and have them take care of it and just pay that fee. They could also, bundle different things together with it, just like they're doing with the other services. So say you get, maybe free Apple Care or iCloud or TV Plus for a year or whatever it is, different incentives. I think it's a smart way because if they even go there with the iPhones, then they could go on to, an Apple Watch. Say you bundle it with an Apple Watch or bundle it with an iPad or whatever other hardware that you would want. So it's a really cool concept.
They buy our loyalty. They buy our loyalty, Greg, and they bought us, right? I mean, I know you're an Android guy. I'm an Apple person, and I mean, I don't see us switching anytime soon if the company keeps on doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a pretty cool concept, especially if you can get the price down. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get like when the new version comes out, you can swap it out and get the brand new one. And it's always going to be, obviously they would probably do the repairs and everything else on it too, because it's a subscription. That's pretty cool. So the idea is, at least according to the report from Bloomberg, is that this may come out later this year or early next year. And again, Apple hasn't officially said this, but I feel pretty confident in saying that there's going to be some kind of plan like this going forward that they're going to have. Maybe not for every phone. You'll probably still have the option to buy it for a while, but eventually transitioning to something like that. So pretty cool concept. And it's definitely got a lot of people talking about that because
super smart.
And if Apple does it, was Samsung going to need to follow suit as well? Yeah. How's that going to work? And the other thing was Apple thinking, the idea is that they could probably get their phones into more hands and expand a little bit too by people who may have been hesitant to purchase a really expensive iPhone before, but now it's like, oh, I can get it for the same price I have been paying or less and get that. So we'll see where it goes, but pretty cool.
Thank you for sharing that. Super awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I love those kinds of concepts and just seeing where people are going with that. All right, we do have something else though. So I got a couple of these are some odd ones, but these are actual products that are being made. And this first one, I thought of you, Winnie, because I thought this might be something. I don't know if you're going to be interested in it or not, but it's an air filtration device for your face, and it's from Dyson. So Dyson, like the vacuums, the air filtration systems, but here is what they have created. It's a combination headphones and face filter that will filter air as you walk around. It is a weird looking product when you see the entire thing put together. It is strange looking. But the idea for them was that it's to help out with noise cancellation as far as when you're, walking around, there's a lot of noise going on, but then also filtering out some of the like pollutants that are in the air because there's so much pollution. So it's not necessarily for a COVID filtration, but it would be for filtering out what is going on as far as air pollution and different things along those lines. So they've got a few different ones here, and I kind of looped some of them in here. Yeah, there's the face filter that goes over. So it doesn't actually touch your face. It actually is just a little bit off of it. And it's got a couple of air compressors that pull air in through, I believe, through the headphones down through and then filters the air and blows it back into your face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a strange concept.
I don't know, Greg. I signed me up for that.
Yeah.
I just saw an interview he's on Twitter, really big, Dr. Eric Dean, I think his name is. A big, he's from Harvard Medical, and he's like one of the leading experts on social talking about COVID vaccines and all that good stuff. And he was just talking about how if we could just get this to be so that every building had good quality air, right, and good filtration, that really we could take our masks off and we can go resume things back to normal. And I love this concept. I just love this concept. Right? I think Vicky's too. Like, certainly Dyson, I'm a big fan of Dyson for sure. I just feel like they've always been, pushing the needle on things. But how smart, Greg, to incorporate headphones, and if they can put this, and they can actually, if they could put a HEPA filter in this thing and give us clean air, then if you're going somewhere that you're not sure if that's gonna be clean, and it's like as cool as headsets, this is something. Sign me up, Greg. I feel like we got to book at this. This is something we got to do.
Yeah, it's pretty, like you said, with Dyson too. I do love how they're always creating something strange and unique, and using their technology that they already have and incorporating it into other products. The headphones, that's an interesting move there.
Yeah.
It does kind of look like a Bane mask for Batman fans, but so I don't think it'll change your voice while you're wearing it. But the headphones themselves have different levels of active noise cancellation too. Those you can kind of get other places, but combining it with this, that I think is just what's really unique. They said that it's going to have different ways to adjust as well. So like if you're doing a different activity, if you're running upstairs, you need more air, it could automatically start giving you more air, noting on what you're doing, realizing what you're doing. So kind of a cool concept. And I mean, actually beyond a concept, they said that this is going to be a product. They didn't say when exactly. It'll be later this year, and they didn't give a price on it. So we don't have that. Vicky, I see asking, will it play music too? Yeah, it'll be, I believe it's Bluetooth connected, like everything that you get with high-end headphones.
This thing's going to sell the jingles out. I'm just going to say right now, this thing is going to, depending on the price point too. I don't know, Greg, let's guess. I'm guessing you don't know the price yet. I'm going to guess this thing is going to be about $600. I'm going to guess it's around the $599 area, just because it's Dyson, and Dyson tends to have a higher price point. But you're going to see, I think the fact that Dyson's going to do it, you're going to see a bunch of knockoffs come in short order, and then it's going to help get prices down. But this is going in the right direction. I can see college students using this. I can see you and I using this on the plane, right? This is cool. Anything Dyson makes is kind of cool.
Yeah, I would definitely use this on a plane. And it's got you've got the ability, you can swing that down, so you can swing the face part down. You can take it off and just use the headphones. And then I don't think you can just use the face mask. It has to be attached to the headphones. But yeah, so it's different ways that you can customize it and use it. Yeah, they're even showing some evolution there of different things. That's pretty cool. That's on
$900.
$900. Yeah, I mean, like you said, Dyson does have a high price point. I like that $600 range where you're in. I feel like that could be, but it could be more expensive than that.
It could be more,
yeah, because that's a lot of components that are going into that to make it. And but we'll have to see.
We'll have to see, because I think Will.i.am created this during the pandemic. Obviously, he created this thing called a super mask. It starts with an X, super mask, and it has Bluetooth headset, and it has a mask, and it has fans built in, right, for COVID. And I think the price point on that thing was close to $400. So I feel like from $400 go to $900. I feel like that's a little steep. So I would think maybe $599, just because it's so different and it's less obtrusive, and it's Dyson, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I will let you know as soon as I find out. Maybe we can get our hands on a demo of one of these.
Dyson, call us.
Yeah, please, Dyson. We are here to try that out. So that's what they came up with, but that's making a lot of headlines today. A lot of people talking about that and what they've come up with. So we have that, and then another thing that's trending. So this is my other one I wanted to bring up, has to do with something that's not quite yet ready that you can get, but the concept is getting further and further along, and that is contact lenses with built-in augmented reality cameras, or that will overlay information in front of you. So this is kind of the videos demonstrating this, and this is from the website too, part of it. So they've got these lenses that you would put in, and then it would overlay information. So they were showing her running, that's giving her a running map, different places where she's going to go. You've got other ones where it's talking about your workout. So this would be all coming through your contact lenses that you put in. And then even some people that are golfing and things like that. So this is from Mojo. And they've been working on this for a while, but they actually had some people come out and give a little demonstration with them. Not that they put them into their eyes yet, but eventually they would. So it's this special screen that would go right onto your eye. You would then have to wear this headset. And so or actually it goes around your neck. So it's kind of a relay that would relay information to your phone. So as of right now, that's how it would work. But then it projects this over onto the lenses, onto your actual eye. It follows your actual eye as it moves. That's how it moves as well. So it's actually monitoring what your eye does. And they think that this is something that everybody's going to be wanting to use, and that's going to become more common here within the next, say, few years. What do you think about that? Would you wear contact lenses that overlaid information like that?
Well, Greg, I have worn contact lens before, and I'm like that person who accidentally flushes it down the sink and rips it and all that. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is sort of the future. So obviously better than wearing, glasses if you don't need to. My concern is maybe it'll make you dizzy. I don't like the fact that there's still something around your neck, but I guess that makes sense, right? Until they get uppering. I'm sure this is sort of the future, so I guess we should just be sort of used to this at some point. But this is one that I'll probably let you try first.
Yeah, let somebody out work out the kinks on this one. Yeah, first. I think there's several companies that are working on this kind of thing as well. Sony's got some concepts that they've come out with. I see Sadiq saying it's like Minority Report. Yeah, there's a lot of things from sci-fi that would go along with this, but I do believe this will be an actual product, whether it's Mojo that gets it out first or somebody else, Apple, someone. I think the goal, and they were even talking about this, is to get away from having to have that thing around your neck to relay the info, to where you could send it further. But right now, the way it works, it just can't send the signal that far. Mm-hmm. So it's right now it relays through that and sends that information on there. But yeah, it's something that's going to be an actual product. There is going to be an actual product like this out there. And I think there's probably going to be a lot of people like you, Winnie, that'll want to see other people try it out first before they start sticking something into their eyes and using it in this way.
Yeah, I think there's some hesitation there, right? I think, we got to make sure that, I'm sure this uses very little electricity, but, I think we're trying to make sure that the stuff is safe long term. But I do like the concept of I love my Apple Watch because I'm working out or I'm moving. I can see in real time, the progress of that. How cool would that be to show up here, right? So they would obviously need to make sure, and imagine the things that they could show you when you're driving, right? So you don't have to look down on your dashboard. That I can see. You're right. Absolutely, this is sort of the future. What that will look like, I guess we'll be yet to tell.
Yeah. I feel like people are going to need to get used to augmented reality glasses first, or even overlays, like you mentioned the driving thing, even an overlay on a windshield. Yeah, get used to that concept and getting used to seeing things out in virtual space in front of you before the contact lenses become something that a lot of people are going to want to try. But I do love the fact that they're working on it. Totally. I love that they're showing it off and trying out this technology and seeing where it goes. But that's one of those things that's not there yet, but at some point this is going to be something.
Call Greg so he can give you insight on what we want to see.
Yeah, what do you want to see in your augmented reality contact lenses? I also used to wear contact lenses, and I'm like you, I did a terrible job of it. I would drop them a lot. So yeah, these would probably be very expensive contact lenses. I don't think you'd be throwing these ones away, so I'd have to be extra careful with those.
Yeah, you don't want to flush them.
Yeah, you don't want to do that with these ones.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't know about Greg, but I mean, after I got LASIK, everything changed. It was so much better. But then I'm not that much of a hurry to put something back in my eye. It was so nice to just let that be.
yeah, just let it go. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I've always loved hearing people's feedback too, and what people think about these kinds of technologies. Yeah, and I saw a lot of comments coming through there too. So let us know. Let us know what you think about augmented reality contact lenses. But those were the big trending ones here for this week, especially today, that I wanted to get out for everybody to take a look at. And I do also want to say thanks to everybody who's been writing me and sending me different tech articles and things that you've seen and things that you think are interesting or questions. Really, really appreciate that. So I want to encourage everybody to continue to do that, whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter or however you want to get a hold of me, please do. It's always great to hear from everybody. So that's what I've got for this week, Winnie.
Amazing, Greg. Yes, absolutely. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for all of you reaching out to me directly too. We love your messages and we love all the share. And I just want to say a special thank you to Vicky. Vicky's been so amazing. She's been messaging me off behind the scenes, and just our thoughts and prayers are with you, Vicky, and your family. So thank you so much for making the time to be here. And thank you so much, Greg, because wow, you hit it out of the park again this week. What a show. I loved. I'm so glad I was here to learn all that.
It's always so much fun.
It's always
so much fun doing this show.
Yes. And
so much fun having everybody on there. Yep. Seeing some comments. Hi, Vicky, and everyone else. So appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah. Stay close. We'll be back very, very soon. And be well. Keep us posted. Send us anything interesting, and we'll see you very soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.